Hello guys, and welcome to a new series on the Apex Doodles channel. This will run throughout the season and include vlogs and races from the current season. As you guys already know, my name is OJ and I'll be talking you through the first steps that a racing driver takes in order to be able to go out there and race. So, the test is known as an ARDS Test, or as some people know it, a novice driver training course. It's very similar to what you'd have to do in order to get your karting license, known as the ARDS Test. Anyway, let's hop into it. We arrived at Thruxton, a 2.3 mile track in Hampshire in the UK. We were then greeted by being given 3 demonstration laps by an instructor at the track. After this, it was my turn. The car that we were driving was a full Focus ST. Bear in mind, this was the only car I'd ever driven except from my driving instructors. I was excited to see what pushing a car around a track was like. The track was very fast and exciting to drive, with the longest straight in the UK. After a few laps, the instructor asked me whether I wanted to take the practical test, which I then did. So, that concludes part 1 of the test. He was very confident with how I did and passed me. After this, it was a written exam. I won't bore you with the details, but we got 100%. After this great news, we were ready to start our first proper steps of getting into a real race car. Now, this is where it starts to get exciting. As we now have the license, we can start testing the real deal. So, we headed up the country to Leicestershire to arrive at Donnington. Donnington has 2 layouts to it, one including an extra chicane and hairpin, and the other ignoring this. We were on the national circuit, which is 1.9 miles. So, I'm sure after hearing all of this, you're wondering, what car am I testing? Well, to answer this question, the Radical SR1. Here are some of the specs, which I'll flash up on the screen. Now, let's jump into some of this onboard footage and my feelings and thoughts throughout the day. Anyway, the day started with me and my driver coach, Michael, who joined me on the day, getting myself comfortable in the car, so making sure that we had the seat positioning right, that I wasn't resting on the pedals or anything like that. After that, we had 2 sessions with Michael in the car to get me used to the feeling of the car, because obviously moving up from a cart, there's not a lot of weight in a cart, and normally the driver themselves controls the amount of weight and the weight transfer, whereas now you got to think about the car is the heaviest part, so getting used to changing the weight transfer in the corners and everything like that. And then, after they are happy with how it was me by myself, and I have the footage from my first ever run by myself in a race car. Let's hop into it. This isn't my fastest lap throughout the day, but I thought it was a good basis to show the true feeling of when you come out from doing your first session. Anyway, let's hop into my reaction. It's mind-boggling. There's many rude words that could come out your mouth whilst you're going around. You're like, what the?
Well, I tell you what, you weren't hanging about though, were you?
Oh no.
Eh?
Yeah, but sometimes they get in the way, and then that frustrates me even more.
Does it?
Like when they sit in the middle of the corner, and you're like, you could literally just let me pass and then slip in behind me.
What were your lap times like?
Like in that last As you can see, I was blabbing a bit. But anyway, let's go on to my reaction when I'm asked by the mechanics how the car felt.
How's it feel?
Yeah, really good. A lot lighter.
Thanks.
Not in a rude way, not in a rude way. No, but like through a few times I went a bit too fast in, and I'm starting to understand now that, especially like when you go too fast in, the car kicks out of the corner, so it doesn't turn in.
Also, if you're going in and coming off the throttle, the back loosens up very quick because the weight's going to the front, obviously.
So
and the wheelbase is much longer than the X30, so yeah.
No, I've been trying to just kind of implement it into myself because it was really useful having him telling me what to do, but now it's also, I've taken a lot from what he said, but it's also trying to teach myself what to do. Like
how did that feel?
No, but I really enjoyed it.
How was the traffic?
After the first day was such a success, we managed to get out again. Well, now you guys will be joining me at Silverstone, the home of British motor racing, holding the most iconic motorsport series in the world, Formula 1. From being a young kid to now, it has been one of my lifetime dreams to drive this iconic track. Anyway, onto the track. The track is 3.6 miles long, including 18 corners, making it one of the most technical tracks out there. As you can see here, it was wet at the beginning of the day. I've never driven a car in the wet. Let's just say there were similarities to karting, but using the weight of the car compared to karting, me being the weight was the biggest difference. Thankfully, it dried for the last session, so I was able to experience this track on a drying line. Here we go. On my best lap here, the fuel pump went, so I had to pull over. Unfortunately, that was the end of our day and the only session we got on a sort of drying track. But anyway. And that's it for the video today, guys. Thank you for watching, but before we leave, I'd like to say a massive thank you to DW Racing, Vela Racing and Mark Armstrong for making all of this possible. Make sure to check our social media next week for some massive news coming on the future of Apex Doodles. Peace out, OJ.